1533rd HJ CheonBo Special Workshop trainees, how are you? I want to wish all of you a Happy New Year. Last year, we brought great victory, even during the Corona-19 disaster. If you look at the top 10 news stories from the international headquarters and the top 10 news stories for the year from the HJ CheonBo Training Center, you can see that it was a year of truly amazing victories. And particularly, it was a special year for the training center, setting a new milestone of more than 700,000 trainees who participated in workshops. And this amazing victory was not achieved by our ability and effort alone. This victory comes because of the works of our eternal Heavenly Parent and the works of the victorious parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, along with the work of the spirit world through the leadership of Hyojin Hyungnim, who opened the gates of heaven, Hungjin Hyungnim, the commander-in-chief of the spirit world, and the absolute model of sincerity and devotion, Hong Sune Daemonim, along with the work of the absolute good spirits who have been mobilized. And this great victory was also achieved through the efforts of the international headquarters, CheonBo leaders all around the world, and our blessed families. If we move forward by adding faith onto faith and the foundation of this victory, we believe that we will be able to set a milestone of receiving more than 1 million people during this year of 2022. Beloved HJ CheonBo Special Workshop trainees, I hope that you may reach the highest point in your life in this new year of 2022. I want to speak to you today about the grace of CheonBo works and the mission of the heavenly tribal messiahs. True parents reveal the truth about the human history, that it is the history of restoration. They reveal to us the amazing truth about the creation, the fall, and the history of the providence of restoration. We have heard that the providence of restoration is the providence of the recreation of Adam and Eve. We have explained that the providence of restoration is the providence of recreation. As a result, Heavenly Parent sent the second Adam, Jesus, who was recreated following a 4,000-year course of restoration after the fall of the first human ancestors. However, Jesus died on the cross without completing the 3 blessings and fulfilling the purpose of creation. After that, Heavenly Parent again led a course of restoration for 2,000 years. With the history of the Holy Spirit, which started in the upper room 2,000 years ago, the history of Christianity began and eventually brought the fruit of the Holy Spirit to the Korean Peninsula, where the morning sun first rises. True Father was born in Cheongju-gun, North Pyongan Province, on 1/6 by the lunar calendar in 1920, and True Mother was also born on 1/6 by the lunar calendar in the year 1943 in Anju, North Pyongan Province. Both of them grew up under the most protection of Heavenly Parents in a world full of war, disease, poverty, and conflict, as Satan made his last desperate effort to keep from losing his sovereignty. If we look at True Parents' words in Book 11, page 203 of the Collected Sermons, we can read, "When I felt lonely as I walked this path for the will, I recalled God who had called me and said, 'Sunmyoung, you know that I am with you, don't you?' Then walking a lonely path became no problem. I said to him, 'For a while I thought I was all alone, but truly you are with me.' And then I went on with new strength." This is why I can never forget God's love for me, not even for one moment. I can never forget God's love, even if my body is crushed to pieces and my bones are turned into powder thousands and thousands of times. Throughout my life, God was with me wherever I was, and He toiled so hard for me. I always realized how God was with us, True Mother said. Even in the midst of our chaotic journey as refugees. As God had protected us when we left the north to journey to the south, He was also with us when we fled from the battles of the Korean War. Finally, the time came and their miraculous meeting took place, according to the guidance of heaven. As a result, on March 27, 1960, 3-1 by the lunar calendar, True Parents' engagement ceremony was held. After that, True Parents' holy wedding was held on April 11th, 3/16 by the lunar calendar. With this ceremony, True Parents appeared and opened the gates of true love, true life, and true lineage as the restored ancestors of humankind. 5 days after the True Parents' holy wedding, on April 16, 1960, 3/21 by the lunar calendar, the three couples' blessing ceremony was held. This marked the beginning of a new history when fallen people were reborn for the first time. After that, the following year, on May 15, 1961, 4/1 by the lunar calendar, was the blessing ceremony for 33 couples, and combined with the three couples, we call them the 36 blessed couples. Following the 36 couples married blessing, on June 4th, 1962, came the blessing of 72 couples, symbolizing the tribes of Cain and Abel. And on July 24th, 1963, the blessing of 124 couples. The 124 couples blessing was the first blessing that was open to the public, and the brides and grooms rode in 150 taxis for a car parade through downtown Seoul. In 1963, when the 124 couples were blessed, the providence of heaven was able to expand to the world, so the United Nations also expanded to 124 member nations that same year. The providence of heaven is carried out subtly, like this. After that, the 430 couples marriage blessing, indemnifying the 4,300-year history of the Korean people, was held at the Seoul Civic Auditorium on February 22, 1968, which was the year 4,301 on the Tangun calendar. At this time, one Japanese family was included to set the condition for connecting the blessing to the world. And by giving the blessing to become tribal messiahs, the core for the vertical and horizontal mission of the heavenly tribal messiahs was established for the first time. After declaring True Heavenly Parents' Day in 1968, blessing 430 families, True Parents finally found the land of Cheonpyeong, which heaven had prepared. While living in a tent, True Parents climbed the surrounding mountains, prayed, and offered fishing Gi-seong. And on June 17, 1971, True Parents made the first strike with a pickaxe to prepare the site for the construction of the original sanctuary. Under the direct supervision of True Parents, construction continued despite bad weather, and the first stage of the CheonBo Providence, the Cheonpyeong Providence, began as the original sanctuary was completed on July 12th, just 2 weeks after starting to build the foundation for the building. After that, True Parents continued to offer bone-crushing Gi-seong at Cheonpyeong and continued to reclaim more usable land for the training center. Then, after renaming the mountain in front of the training center as Sonin Peak, on 1971, on July 10th, 1972, from the town of Mount Cheongnak, which is now Mount Cheonsang, True Father gave new names to many nearby locations. The new names all included the character Cheon, or heaven. There was the lake, the guest house, 15 mountains, 3 plateaus, and a riverside beach area, 21 places in all. Father explained that the image of an ideal garden would emerge from the interpretation of those new names. The main mountain, Mount Cheonsang, which was originally called Mount Cheongnak, is shaped like a folding screen. True Father checked to make sure there were not any higher mountains within 10 li, around 4 kilometers, from this place, and then confirmed that it was an exceptional location. The training center has the shape of a person prostrating to practice reverence. The water in front of it is like a lake because you do not even sense that the water is moving. Water is harmony, and harmony symbolizes hope, infinity, and prosperity. These things make Cheonpyeong a beautiful place to be, and we can be proud of it before all the world as a beautiful place with a harmonious landscape. Once the earthworks had been completed to fill in and flatten out the land, The place was ready for a new start at any time by designing and erecting pillars for buildings. It is a place where you can create a world of heaven on earth. Then two parents put all their heart into the liberation of the spiritual realm at the Cheonpyeong Holy Ground, which we now call Hyeojung-cheonwon Holy Ground. On August 5th, 1973, two parents held a Moon Clan liberation ceremony at the Cheonpyeong Training Center, and on May 1st, 1975, the ceremony of total liberation was held at Cheonpyeong Training Center under the supervision of two parents. On November 2nd, 1978, two parents held the Unification Liberation Ceremony and proclaimed the liberation of the Moon Tribe and the World Tribes. Through this ceremony, two parents said that all the barriers of the spirit world had been taken down and the spirit world and physical world had become one. This made it possible for all the ancestors to travel freely and go wherever they desired. The second stage, the growth period of the CheonBo province, started on January 19, 1995, with the work of separating spirits, under the supervision of Hungjinim and Hongsuni Daemonim, representing two parents in the spiritual realm. Then, 36 years after the advent of true parents, they gave the blessing for spirit persons on August 23, 1995, 2 days before the international blessing of 360,000 couples, blessing the families of Cheongmonim, Daemonim, and Taeyoungnim. With this, the door for the blessing of the spiritual realm was opened for the first time. On November 29, 1997, at the same time as the 40 million couples blessing, the first large-scale blessing ceremony for spirits was held, and 3.2 billion spirits were blessed. On that foundation, on January 8, 1999, they proclaimed the complete liberation for the cosmic expansion of the marriage blessing and the rooting out of Satan's lineage, with the benediction prayer that opened the way for ancestor liberation and blessings. And liberation ceremonies for ancestors from generations 1 to 7 of the paternal life began on February 12, 1999. In the year of True Father's 79th birthday, at 9:09:09 a.m. on September 9th, 1999, True Parents declared the liberation and unification of the cosmos, centered on the parents of heaven and earth, which we call Gugujol, or 9-9 Day. They proclaimed the day of the blessing and liberation of all heaven and earth on October 23rd, and the arrival of the age of the authority of the fourth Adam on October 24th, thus attaining the position of perfected Adam in complete oneness with Heavenly Parent. Then they dedicated the main hall of the Cheonpyeong Training Center, naming it the Cheongsong Won Palace, on November 7th. The first ancestor blessing ceremonies were held at Cheongsong Won Palace on December 12, 1999. The entire providence of restoration in the realm of the spirit world and physical world had come to fruition. True Parents bestowed a new name, Cheonpyeong Heaven and Earth Training Center, for the training center on March 15, 2000. On Chuseok of the year Two Fathers celebrated his 80th birthday, September 12, 2000, 8:15 by the lunar calendar, True Parents conducted the Total Liberation Chuseok Day. The holy marriage blessing of the True Parents of Heaven and Earth opened the gates to Cheonilguk, was at Cheonpyeong Heaven and Earth Training Center on February 6, 2003, on the 84th birthday of True Father and the 61st birthday of True Mother. Through this, the way was opened for blessed spirits in the spirit world and blessed families on earth to be registered as citizens of Cheonilguk. Then, on September 12, 2005, the Universal Peace Federation was founded, and 6 days later, on Chuseok, September 18, 2005, True Parents declared the Chuseok Day for the liberation of heaven and earth, saying, at this time, based on the foundation of God's victory, the parents of heaven and earth have won the supreme victory for all generations to come. They have established the foundation on which the all-transcendent, all-immanent God can exercise his power and authority over all creation. Today, I declare the liberation of heaven and earth. And while we were preparing for Foundation Day to be held on that foundation in 2013, True Father ascended to the spirit world in 2012. On September 3rd, 717 by the Holy Calendar, Heavenly Calendar, without being able to witness the final victory of Foundation Day. 13 days later, on September 15th, 729 by the Heavenly Calendar, the universal Seonghwa ceremony of Sun Myung-moon, the true parent of heaven, earth, and humankind, was held in a solemn atmosphere at the Cheongsong Peace World Center. After going to the spirit world, True Father reorganized the order in the spirit world to help and support True Mother on earth in conducting new works. We can read about this in Cheonseong. This day, the day of the worship service celebrating the 40th day after True Father Seonghwa, marks a new starting point for the providence. During the last 40 days, Father has visited many places in the spirit world. I have been conversing with True Father in my heart over the past 40 days. I have been preparing. Father's thoughts have become my thoughts, and my thoughts have become his thoughts. Now, with complete oneness of mind and will, centering on the principle, let us move forward with determination. From this point on, the providence has moved forward under the direct dominion of True Father in heaven and True Mother on earth. And from October 27, 2014, the third phase, the completion stage of the CheonBo Providence, which is the age of heavenly works directly supervised by True Parents, one True Father in heaven and True Mother on earth, who are completely one, are directly granting the great forgiveness of substantial grace and blessing, began. Therefore, True Mother reorganized the Cheongpyeong Heaven and Earth Training Center on October 27, 2014. On August 27, 2015, 3 days before the third anniversary of the Holy Ascension of True Father, True Mother told us that Hyojinnim's portrait should be placed in the Cheonshim Won Prayer Hall. She said that Hyojinim and Hungjinnim stand in the positions of the restored first and second sons, as restored Cain and Abel. As we attend True Parents' four-position foundation, even more amazing works can be accomplished. After August 30th, 2015, 717 by the Heavenly Calendar, the third anniversary of True Father's Holy Ascension, True Parents have opened the age of the works of the substantial Holy Spirit, where the spirit world and physical world are directly governed by True Parents. As a result, on September 24th, 2015, True Mother said, "From now on, if you have unity with True Parents, there will be miracles. If you invest yourself in prayer and Jeongseong, your problems will be solved. This is possible because the spiritual base is already prepared. It is time for the spirit world to support us automatically. Through the foundation established by investing 21 years of Jeongseong, an automatic system has been set up." At the same time, she developed the Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission in earnest. True Parents issued the proclamation of the authority of tribal messiahs at the Hanam International Training Center on January 3rd, 1989, 1125 by the lunar calendar. With this proclamation of the authority of tribal messiahs, the blessed families inherited True Parents' entire victorious foundation. True Parents emphasized three key missions of tribal messiahs, saying, "As a tribal messiah, you have three important missions. First, you must restore your ancestors. Second, you must restore your hometown. Third, since the first human ancestors, Adam and Eve, fell and God was expelled from their family, you must live with God in your family." These are the three missions of a tribal messiah. Then, on August 13, 2012, True Father declared, "I declare that if centering on the 14 sons and daughters, the tribal messiahs are able to fulfill the calling of national representatives and restore the 387 nations, everything will be brought to a conclusion. I have accomplished everything for this. I have accomplished everything. Aju." This was True Father's final prayer. Since then, True Mother has promoted the Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission in earnest. This is True Father's will, and a heavenly nation, heavenly world, and heavenly spirit world cannot be restored without heavenly tribes. True Mother also talked about this on October 29, 2014, when she visited the construction site of the Cheongnam District Headquarters building in Korea. She conveyed a blessing in her message to the members gathered there. "Become heavenly tribal messiahs who attend Heavenly Parent." And she said, You must fulfill the mission of heavenly tribal messiahs. You must do this for the remainder of your life. If you cannot do this after you go to the spirit world, you will be ashamed to meet true Father. He will say, I taught you this on earth, and I have also earnestly requested that you did this. But why haven't you done anything? This is work that you absolutely must do, not only for your sake, but for the generation of your descendants. And on February 17th, 2019, 2:17, on the heavenly calendar, the founding ceremony for the Cheonilguk Tribal Messiah Association was held at the Cheonshim Won Palace, and 320 families were registered. True Mother once again emphasized the mission of the Heavenly Tribal Messiahs by giving a special CheonBo box containing a CheonBo authentication card to the 21 families who had already registered their entire tribes. True Mother prepared the CheonBo won, where the Heavenly Tribal Messiahs can be registered. On March 27th, 2017, 2:30 by the heavenly calendar, True Mother emphasized the importance of CheonBo won, saying the following as she passed the CheonBo won construction site. We need to get 1,000 troops supporting us. The blessed families on earth must fulfill their responsibilities, and their ancestors in the spirit world must be liberated. We must fulfill God's dream. In the spirit world, there will be eternal records of what your family has done on this earth. 2 days later, at Cheonshim Won Palace, True Mother said the following about CheonBo won. I am going to build a CheonBo won at the Cheongpyeong Heaven and Earth Training Center. I hope that all of you can become the kind of proud people who can be registered there. It is going to be a place that will last forever on earth and heaven, where your descendants will come and say, I am grateful for my ancestors and proud of them. During the time CheonBo won was being built, True Mother offered extensive Gi-seong to support the work and frequently visited the construction site and gave specific guidance regarding the construction plans. On May 23, 2018, True Mother entered the CheonBo won construction site to inspect the first 3 floors. True Parents spoke more specifically about the role of CheonBo won and offered words of blessing, saying, this will be the place where the blessed families, 심정, can be cleansed and resolved through their sincere prayer. The completed CheonBo won building was revealed in front of heaven and earth during its 2 dedication ceremonies. The first dedication ceremony was held on August 28, 2018, the 3rd day of the Hyeojung Cheonpyeong Great Works, commemorating the 6th anniversary of the Holy Ascension of Sun Myung-moon, the true parent of heaven, earth, and humankind. True Mother blessed CheonBo won to remain as an important hall throughout human history, saying, as we dedicate the CheonBo won in front of heaven today, for the proud victors of Cheonilguk who can be recorded here, we must look at it with the past, the present, and the future, and with heaven and all of humankind in our mind. We must be individuals and blessed families who have not a single flaw, who have fulfilled our responsibilities, and are unwavering and united with the spirit world and the physical world at a single point. When we reflect on these standards, we feel so undeserving. In all the days to come, may this become a hall in which a legacy may remain, telling the proud story of unblemished forefathers and ancestors whose lives cast no shadow. We earnestly and fervently hope that you may sanctify everything and accept our offering joyfully. I pray this in the name of true parents. And on February 7th, 2019, 1:13 by the heavenly calendar, the grand dedication ceremony for the CheonBo won was held, and the exhibitions and experiences on all 4 floors were open for visitors. At the celebration of True Parents' victorious return and the 59th anniversary of True Parents' Holy Wedding held on April 20th, 2019, at the Cheonshim Won Palace, True Mother said the following. There are many who have their names registered in CheonBo won. Since Heavenly Parents' creation is eternal, your efforts should not end with the first generation. Your children and grandchildren should align with True Mother, the only begotten daughter, and thereby maintain a loyal family that remains forever unchanging. I sincerely pray that I, the only begotten daughter, will be able to recognize many blessed families and that they will receive my seal while I am still on the earth. Later, on February 12, 2019, at the 2019 Cheonilguk Leaders General Assembly at Cheonshim Won Palace, True Mother bestowed a new name, HJ Heaven and Earth CheonBo Training Center, for the training center. Here is what True Mother said about it. Today, I will change the name from Cheongpyeong Heaven and Earth Training Center to the HJ Heaven and Earth CheonBo Training Center. The scope of this training center is not limited to the area near the town of Cheonpyeong. On the contrary, it is on a dimension that reaches the whole nation, that reaches all of heaven and earth. The significance of this training center is that it nurtures people whose names will be registered in CheonBo Won to be remembered by heaven. This is the process that has completed the HJ Heaven and Earth CheonBo Training Center. We are now in an amazing time when True Mother, who is a substantial Holy Spirit, is directly officiating CheonBo works on the earth, and True Father is working in the spirit world. The training center has developed in 3 stages. From the Cheongpyeong Training Center, the Cheongpyeong Heaven and Earth Training Center, and now the HJ Heaven and Earth CheonBo Training Center. Now True Parents have renamed it Heavenly Parents CheonBo Won, a garden of revival for all humankind, to make it a training center welcoming us like True Parents' open arms where all people will long to visit in the future. Brothers and sisters, True Mother has said that this year, the EUME year, is the year of a vibrant black tiger, a brave tiger, and a wise tiger. That the character Im means True Mother, the only begotten daughter. And she offered her blessing on the year to bring great victory for heavenly unified Korea and a heavenly unified world. And in order to support this work, Hyojinim, who was born in 1962, which was also the year of the Black Tiger, will be with us even more than ever and will direct amazing works during the year 2022 as he celebrates his 60th year. I hope that all of you will achieve the best victories in your lives by connecting to this heavenly fortune and by investing yourself completely with life and death determination. As True Mother said her blood, sweat, and tears while giving birth to and raising 14 children, she underwent indescribable suffering. Through this path, she became the only begotten daughter, the substantial Holy Spirit, who bore the heaviest cross in the world, who gave birth to all of humankind on earth and in heaven. If a problem arises, she cannot sleep until it is solved, and she makes great effort in offering Gi-seong to bring a solution. So I hope you can all join your hearts and offer Gi-seong together to support True Mother. I would like to conclude my speech by offering you my hope that all the trainees, families, tribes, and nations may inherit the heavenly fortune of the HJ Heaven and Earth CheonBo Training Center and may share in works of grace, works of blessing, and works of miracles in this Black Tiger year of 2022. Thank you very much.